Welcome everyone to the EOS Fireside Chat for January 25th, 2023. We got a great show for you today. We're talking EVM going live on the testnet and then IBC coming soon. We've got some updated EOS profiles in the crypto space. We'll be hearing from Dario and EOS Support regarding their recent EOS audits with 15 audited Pomelo grants, and then also their new EOS Synergy show. There's a Swiss Antelope workshop that was released recently. There's a Pomelo moon alert that was seen today, and some more good stuff from WordProof. So before we get into all of that though, EOS, in case you didn't know, is a layer 1 smart contract platform that is governed by its community and the only crypto network that has had its foundation emerge organically from within the community years after the launch of the network. Last year, the EOS Network Foundation hit the ground running and established some much needed funding mechanisms for the community. Finally, longtime builders in the EOS ecosystem had access to funds to build the EOS projects they loved through a variety of ENF funding initiatives, such as the EOS Recognition Grants, the Pomelo crowdfunding platform for public goods, the direct grant framework for open source development, and the Eden Community's consensus building process. And by the way, those last 3 EOS funding opportunities are still available today. So whether you're new to the community or have been with us for years, we encourage crypto builders of all kinds, from content creators to developers, to take a look at the hashtag new EOS and find out how they can get funded for adding value to the EOS ecosystem. On top of the funding mechanisms the ENF put in place in 2022, the ENF also hired the best devs in the space and helped establish strong technical foundation that is now supporting exciting projects that are in full bloom. Some of these solutions were recommended as a result of the Blue Papers research series that are now being implemented, such as the Recover Plus framework that protects qualifying DeFi protocols and the Yield Plus program that boosts returns for a diversified range of DeFi protocols. Another big accomplishment last year was the spearheading of the successful fork of the B1 controlled EOSIO codebase to the now community controlled Antelope codebase. The Antelope coalition, composed of EOS, WAX, UX, and Telos, was also established and are now working together on protocol development and enabling new synergies, such as the upcoming inter-blockchain communication between all Antelope chains. The year is not even 1 month old, and we've already had big news regarding the imminent launch of both the EOS EVM and the Antelope ecosystem IBC. In case it wasn't yet clear, EOS is in the midst of an epic narrative reversal, and the new EOS has the potential to become one of the most legendary crypto redemption arc stories of our generation. My name is Stephane. I'm one of the co-founders of EOS Nation, currently a top-ranked block producer on EOS and other Antelope chains. I'm happy and honored to be your host for today. All right, so thanks everyone for joining us on Discord. Thank you for joining us, tuning in from other platforms like YouTube, Twitter, and Facebook. If you are here with us today, we encourage you to jump on to the show. We love to hear from the community. We want to hear your comments, your thoughts, your questions, your reactions to the news of the week. And yeah, you can feel very free to jump in at any time and say your name when you jump in, so everyone watching or hearing can also have can know who you are. And if you can contribute to the show without necessarily jumping on air, share some images in the voice chat here. Share some emojis, spam the emojis, and help make this show more visually appealing for our friends on YouTube and Twitter. All right, so let's get into it. EVM going live on the testnet. So this we talked about last week on the Fireside. However, this went live on Friday, so just a couple days afterwards. We've had, of course, a nice tweet from the ENF here. I'll share in the chat. I can find it. And we've also had a blog post. Other than that, maybe I can invite someone from the ENF to talk more about this, the launch, how it's been going, and yeah, the next steps. I think, Zack, you're on deck for this one.
Yeah, I mean, it went live. I think there was some initial stability issues with the RPC nodes that the ENF's operating for Jungle Testnet. They seem to be fixed. Kevin from Object Computing made a patch. It was pushed. Mateus from EOS Argentina, who is the lead of the EVM Plus working group from the very beginning. He's on a planned leave or vacation right now, so he'll be back beginning of February, and we'll likely be recording a podcast or bringing him on the Fireside Chat to dive deeper into EVM. But yeah, it's live. Everything's shared in the blog post, the RPC endpoints, the block explorers. It's all live. I haven't been monitoring specifically which contracts are being deployed. I know Trust Swap from Esteban, if you guys know him from the community, they've already deployed. I've been watching and monitoring their chat, kind of like watching in real time the issues people are running into or the things that are working really well. So we'll just be continuing to monitor.
All right, good stuff. Good stuff. Anyone else had comments or questions about EOS EVM, or if any of you here have been playing around? I know obviously Esteban has been playing around. Did you want to jump on and share your thoughts right now? I see you in the crowd. I don't know if you can join though. Maybe he can't join at the moment. Well, if you can later on, Esteban, feel free to jump on here and share some of your thoughts so far. Too noisy, coffee shop. All right. All right. Maybe next time then. Maybe next time. Okay, so for everyone that's here with us on Discord, don't remember to claim your POP tokens in the PopBot chat. A few sections lower here than the voice chat on the Discord sidebar, and yeah, you can claim one a week if you are joining us here on Discord. So if you're watching from outside of Discord, jump on in here, grab your POP token, enter the monthly raffle, win some prizes. Easy as that.
Okay. Did I get cut off before my Discord shut down?
Yeah, you got cut off. I still gave you a crowd cheer ovation.
What did it cut off at?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
All right. To be honest. So generally speaking, everything's good. Continuing to monitor it. There will be one more release and one more testnet reset or relaunch prior to mainnet deployment. Still on track for 10 to 12 weeks. Perfect.
Thanks for that recap. No, yeah, we were talking about how you were watching Esteban running his trust swap on the testnet.
Okay, so you cut most of it then.
Seeing the reactions and the issues kind of live and people fixing them and stuff. So
then you cut most of it. Thanks.
Okay, great. All right, cool. Next up on the topic list, IBC is coming. We've said that a couple times now in the last few weeks, but it's still true. It's still coming. I don't know. I was hoping to see if Areg would be here to talk more about this from a technical point of view, but doesn't look like he's in the chat today. So I'm not sure, Zack, if you had some news to share around that, or maybe we keep it mostly for next week.
Technically, IBC is already live. The only thing that is lacking is removing the active permission from UX Network themselves. So once they do that, it will essentially just be owned by the network, the BPs, and then resetting the smart contracts. So the plan is tomorrow we have the announcement planned. It'll have a lot of information about IBC so that everyone can better understand it. And then Yves will actually be in Costa Rica this weekend with Noam from UX Network. And I believe the plan is that he wants to push the button to make the final steps of the IBC. Technically, it already works. It's already live. The only chain to not have it ready is Wax. but they're focused on upgrading to Leap 3.1 right now, so they're not really it's not their top priority, but they could execute later. So what's currently live is the IBC between UX and EOS, but with permissions that basically grant UX Network developer access to it. And Telos, I believe, has already deployed their contract or is in the process of it, and everything will basically just the permission sets will be changed in the next couple of days. But the announcement's tomorrow, because like it's like a spectrum. It's literally live already, but like at what point do we say like it's
Yeah, we definitely need a moment, one moment where it's like where I can play my air horn and that IBC is officially live.
That happened last week.
Well,
like it's already done. It's already done. So I'm not sure what you're expecting.
I'm expecting for the permissions to be controlled by the EOS network itself for it to really be IBC, you know.
Sure. So over the weekend with Guillaume, machete in hand, I'll push a button, we'll take a picture, and it'll be epic.
There you go. There you go. That's what I want. That's what I want to see.
But yes, IBC is essentially already live. I tweeted about it last week. The first transactions went through. What'll change is that relegation of permissions, and then like it's done afterwards, I guess, in that sense. But it's already really done. But yes, we'll push a button, we'll take a picture, you'll be able to do your horn.
Excellent.
Yeah, but the post itself is really informative. Up until now, there's been a couple of really good interviews from a couple different entities. So Good Block interviewed Gnome, Helios interviewed him a while back. So there's really good information, but it was all through video. So this will be the most, it is the, I guess, most detailed text-based article to inform what IBC means, and also the documentation for the IBC is being updated as we speak. So if you want to read the developer documentation, you could do it right now. It's at antelopeibc.io or .com. It basically just forwards you to a Git book that UX is hosting right now. But it has a lot of information about the IBC also, if you're interested in reading anything about it before tomorrow.
So what's the first thing I can do once IBC is fully live? I guess it's transfer tokens between these two networks for now, and then adding Telos soon, and then Wax afterwards.
There's no ETA for Wax. As Zack mentioned, they haven't even upgraded to Leap yet. They're not going to be upgrading to Leap 3.2 anytime soon, as far as I understand, because it's still not stable for them. So they'll be upgrading to Leap 3.1. And once that happens, then they'll be able to do the IBC on their side, which is very different for them as well, because it's not the VPs doing it; it's Wax itself. But in the meantime, the idea is Telos, UX, and EOS will all be connected with one another, and you'll be able to transfer tokens. They're still, in terms of UI, in terms of being able to do this, is still very manual. And so, the experience of doing so is still not great. Basically, the function now is available, and how people will start leveraging that function is what we're going to see over the next. It's going to take time. Like, you're going to start seeing maybe games or DeFi protocols or any kind of application that'll start leveraging this function, and then it'll become more real in terms of what you can do. In the meantime, it's I would say more of a novelty than anything else, because if there's no use case, as much as the supply is there, there's not necessarily a particular demand in right now. So this is just the beginning. And that's why it's kind of anticlimactic. It really is. Now the function is available. Now it's up to people to figure out how to leverage that function.
Yeah, I know John from Boyd has previously mentioned that on this Fireside that he's looking forward to integrating the IBC, and that it might be one of the first apps to do so. But I'm looking through in the chat here. It doesn't look like he's with us today. But I'll definitely ask him about this next time. Next time he joins the fireside.
Hey, this is Andrew Drew Block. I have a quick question about IBC. I remember there was a conversation with the Cosmos ecosystem about their IBC solution, and it sounded like they thought it looked promising. I'm just curious if there's been any further conversation with them.
That's a really good question. I also asked that lately, and the answer I got was publicly Cosmos had been saying, yes, let's work together. Privately, they weren't answering anymore and essentially ghosted Guillaume and his team. And so the likelihood of any integration at this point seems quite nil.
Cool. Thanks for the update.
I know that's not a great answer, but that's I also asked Guillaume lately, and it seems like it never went anywhere. At least not in the short term. Maybe something will change in the future, but right now it seemed like they just did not care.
While we take this small musical break here, while we wait for people to maybe ask questions or whatever, I'm going to share the link in the chat for the monthly raffle for this month. So if you've got 4 pop tokens, you can get in there, grab your ticket. You're going to win some prizes. Might be EOS, might be NFTs. Going to be a good time regardless. So get in there, blend yourself a January raffle ticket. All right, let's see here. What's next on the agenda? Is Winfred with us at this point? Not sure yes, she is. The Winfred, there it is.
Hello.
Hey, yeah, talk to us about the work you've been doing on the EOS profiles recently.
Yeah, for sure. Can you guys hear me?
Yes. Let me turn off that music. Go for it.
Yeah, so when I joined the ENF, one of the things that Patty, who's our CMO, commissioned me to do was to kind of run an audit of all the exchanges that we're listed on. So one of the things that I discovered that she also was privy to was that we, as the EOS ecosystem, had not really established a relationship with a lot of these exchanges. If you go on OKX today, for example, you'll see that they're saying the TPS for EOS is so incredible. It's 4,000 TPS per second, which really is not impressive, to say the least. So once I did an audit on all the exchanges, I ranked them by, the top 10% by, trading volume total, the top 10% by EOS trading volume, the top 10% by liquidity. I started to reach out to these exchanges to kind of form a relationship with them. Because if we want to work with them in the future for marketing activities or cross-collaboration activities, we need them to change the content that they have on their profiles. So the last couple of weeks, that's been what I've been up to. And it's something that I'll be up to for a while because EOS is listed on most, if not majority of, if not all of the exchanges. So I've been working on kind of rewriting the narrative around EOS and laying the groundwork so that we can have successful marketing initiatives moving forward. So we've completed updates for Binance. Binance had a couple of pages. They had Binance research page, and then they had a Binance EOS page. And now that we have that groundwork done, we're actually going to be launching a program. I'm not going to say too much at this point, but it's going to be a pretty impactful program in terms of the reach that we'll be able to have with, thanks to working with Binance. And then we've been working with Coinbase, and we're working with a lot of really the top exchanges in terms of just like like I said, trade volume, EOS trade volume, liquidity, community size, and whatnot. And so I know a lot of people have been asking, what's the ENF doing for marketing? And for us, we believe that, to be successful in our marketing initiatives, we have to have a solid foundation. So we're not just going to shill EOS, but then not actually have the groundwork done to support what we're shilling. We're working from the ground up. And so just kind of rewriting the narrative, clarifying that, okay, shit's happened. Excuse my language. But this is now the new EOS. We're, being shepherded by a new entity, an entity that actually cares about, the ecosystem and EOS as a token and whatnot. So just been working on a lot of that. Like I said, there's a lot to look forward to. There's a program with Binance that will be launching pretty soon, and more details to come when it comes.
Great stuff. Thanks for the update, and looking forward to hearing more. I think we were teased. I heard some teaser at some point about this program. Might have been on last week's Fireside, but looking forward to seeing that, and looking forward to updated descriptions of the EOS network. Like you said, a lot of it is outdated stuff, and the new EOS has so much narrative power around it that can be shared in these places. So I think that's super important. All right. And please, Winfred, come back on the Fireside soon and give us some more updates on the stuff you're working on.
Oh, I will. Will do.
All right, our next promotional interlude is going to be me reminding you guys to join the Lunar giveaway contest that's going on right now, and was extended a bit, and it's going to be going on for another week. So you've got plenty of time, regardless if you're listening to this live or if you're listening on the replay. You can go to bblk.io/ENF, and that's you'll land on a bounty block contest. There's a little survey that asks questions about your knowledge and preferences about things in the EOS community. There's no right or wrong answer. We're just kind of looking to learn more about what people think about EOS. And in exchange, there's some EOS to be won. There's some NFTs to be won. All that good stuff. And so check out bblk.io/ENF. And join the latest promo and let us know what you think about all these initiatives that are going on in the EOS ecosystem. Link, yes, let me get you a link that is clickable. Well, here's the direct link for you guys, but the short link is bblk.io/ENF. There you go. All right, next up, let's hear from Bishop and all the new things that are going on over at EOS Support. Bishop, are you around to jump on stage here?
Yes, sure. Thank you for having me.
There you go. Welcome to the Fireside again.
Thank you. So hello, everyone. My name is Charles Arroyo Bishop. I'm the head of communications over at EOS Support. We provide to the EOS community free live chat 24/7 on our website, tutorials, community events as well. We have the giveaway show every Thursday at 5 p.m. UTC, where we distribute news about the EOS ecosystem, have fun trivia giveaways and the such. And we also provide services to organizations and companies seeking to develop on EOS. One of those being able for them to set up their own DAO infrastructure. So the fractal democracy and the upvote process of Eden can be applied to yet unimagined use cases. But to start off, we successfully launched, for now, the EOS Respect community, based on Eden OS. There, all those are contributing value to the EOS Support community and its affiliated projects can then receive and distribute funding using the vote process. And more importantly, report on their projects that they support, ensuring their accountability and transparency. So since the auditing work is such a crucial part of this process, one that aims to achieve accountability and transparency for our public goods and projects on EOS, we published the first EOS Support Auditor Report. So we published it recently, and the goal of the EOS audit is to provide the community with decisive project information to assist in the decision-making when it comes to public good funding. Additionally, the research provided may also be used to bring forth a deeper understanding of our community to its members. The audit provides, key points, such as affiliation, contact information, and the current status data on 15 of the most recognized projects on EOS. Project owners, our goal is to bring them forth with project owners that have skin in the game, them coming, see how projects are going, and fund them based on reliable data. And I guess we'll want to be clear on the EOS ecosystem we want to create. I think most of us imagine one where the people in charge of our essential public goods are there based on their contributed value to their projects and not because it's been their job position forever. And the EOS Respect community is proving that the above process can be used for just that, to making that happen in an organization. People selecting them based on their value, how much they contribute to their common goal, etc. So with the EOS audit reports, we're about to put out there what the community has always been wanting, more transparency from our public goods and projects on EOS. And this information doesn't come from the project themselves, but from the auditor's scrutiny. They gather the information the EOS Respect community members and project owners need to make the right informed decisions when it comes to funding. And since it's a crucial part of the EOS Respect community, EOS Audit will have its own decentralized community, onboarding members and checking for accountant skills, and for them to manage themselves in full autonomy and decentralized way. So yes, basically with EOS Audit, we want people to build reputation at auditing and making some money, very basically. And EOS needs to be anti-fragile, able to strive by itself, with its own accountants, consultants, auditors, and this is what we've tried to do with EOS Audit. And soon coming more information on how the community will look like and how everything will work. And so this week we've also had EOS Synergy. So many of you maybe know me from the giveaway show.
Hold on, Bishop. Hold on. Let's take it Let's take it one at a time here. I got a lot I want to ask you and share actually about this EOS audit report that you just talked about. I mean, so the Pomelo team, has been hoping for someone to do something like this since basically the start of before season 1 actually, and so absolutely thrilled to see how this is developing. I went through the report, today. I love all the categories and the information that you guys are providing. It's a 1-pager per grant. So if you want to learn more about these grants, you can go to the EOS report. I'm actually, I'm not going to name them all, but there's a nice distribution of types of grants as well in there. Some I wasn't very familiar with, others that are very popular, others that I knew a bit, so that was nice to see as well. And maybe you can clarify on how grants can qualify for the next report like this, and what the process is for those grants to join, so that we can see more grants included in your next edition of the audit report.
There's no specific process for a auditor on EOS Respect to select a project and a report work on it, but on the EOS Respect community, when it comes to being able to distribute funding received in EOS Respect to your projects, it must be affiliated with EOS Support. All you have to do then is just contact us on our website at contact@eosupport.io and set up a first meeting, to make your project affiliated with us. As always, it brings forth many new advantages for the projects. They can be in direct contact with us whenever there's a problem. We can help them set up their organization and provide much more for going down the line through EOS Audit and much more. But basically, just contact us, of course. And the people exactly in charge who are in EOS Respect are actually the people that are going out there, contacting the projects, the one that they believe in. And so my first move would be, well, to join EOS Respect. If you have projects you love on EOS, that you want to report on them and be part of our community, receive funding, just join EOS Respect. Contact us and it will be our pleasure to onboard you.
Perfect. And, you know, on the grant creator side, which I have been a grant creator for the past 2 seasons now with the Hot Sauce, the EOS news show that our team hosts. And we've, you know, we got funding last season in Pomelo and then also in season 4 as well. And, you know, it was just wanted to highlight to other grant creators that it's very easy to be included in this report. Basically, Dario reached out to me explaining the concept. He's like, hey, do you want Hot Sauce to be affiliated to EOS Support? There's an audit involved, etc. I was like, yeah, that sounds great. You know, what exactly is involved? And it was fairly simple. It was like, okay, well, you know, you need to highlight what you promised in your grant application and then show us the proof that you delivered on what you promised. So personally, we had already compiled all that data during our season 4 grant application, which we showed kind of what we've done for season 3 in that new section for grant creators that can showcase, give an update on the previous season. So we already had all of that data available, and we just kind of sent it over to Dario, and you know, it was fairly easy. So it's not as a grant creator, you know, this was great, and I'm happy that someone in the community is kind of collecting all of that information together in one spot, because I imagine, you know, we're not the only grant creators that are tracking what they've been doing, update, you know, for their new grant pitches season after season. So you know, I think it's really good that finally, you know, there seems to be one spot in the community that can kind of gather all that information and make it easy to find for people who want to do more research on these Pomelo grants. So
Exactly.
yeah, absolutely,
So
absolutely great.
Thank you.
Round of applause. Give you the horn as well. So yeah, so I wanted to at least, you know, share these comments before we move on to.
Thank you. Now, having a
your other
transparent
topic.
and accountable public goods on EOS is not an easy task, but I think EOS auditing, what we're trying to do, can help a lot with that. I'm just glad. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. So Daniel Keys here, bringing some important clarification in terms of being affiliated. Yeah. So in the report, you can see the EOS support status if the project is affiliated or not. So that's right. Those are 2 separate things to be included in the EOS report. Just reach out to EOS support and provide, you know, the information about your grant. So
Always.
Good clarification.
Yes.
Just be a top 15 grant, right, on Pomelo. There you go. Okay, did you want to share, explain to us the new show that you guys are putting on that I just heard about recently myself? So I'm looking forward to hearing about this.
So far, the giveaway show has been going very well. I'm very happy of all the good times that we have every week with our community at each event, 5 p.m. UTC on YouTube for your support and on Twitter Spaces as well. It's been a fun show since June we started it, and it's been going so well that, what the hell, has created many others. We have 9 supported languages at EOS Support, and I think having more events such as this one, but for all the languages, is a top priority for the EOS community. We want people out there to know about EOS news, about what's happening in our network, and EOS Synergy is the first step in that. We launched the show with Hazza, which has been hosting it for the first time on Tuesday, and we'll be helping him and all the others that want to launch a show just like this one go down the line, bring them information and make it better each time. The goal with EOS Synergy its concept is to bring forth on the show many different project owners and other community members of EOS Synergy, the people watching, helping the project owners find synergies between them, ways they can help each other, maybe grow together. And it's a fun and nice idea for an event like this one. And I'm very happy to see how it's going and what we'll bring in next Tuesday as a new weekly event for the EOS community. And again, we will have EOS news, trivia, giveaways, and all the fun it needs to be a good show for any new community member, crypto enthusiasts, or people in that specific language that just want to discover more about EOS. And so having one for as many languages as possible is our goal. And anyone that wants or have the passion to animate events such as this one is highly welcome to again contact us at EOS Support. Join our team and maybe host an event such as the EOS Synergy or the giveaway show. For me, it's been a pleasure since I first did it in June. Great fun altogether in the EOS community at the giveaway show, having the trivia and all things. So it's been a pleasure so far, but with EOS Synergy, we have a new one and hoping to have much more.
There you go. That's great. Great concept that you guys are bringing forth. Looking forward to seeing it. All right. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was a surge of members in the EOS Discord community channel lately in the last week or so. I gave the warning last week on the Fireside, if you remember, that we were maybe going to see a surge, and we've actually seen 741 new members join the server since that time. We're up to over 7,400, almost 7,500. So that's great to see. I think it's due to the Lunar New Year giveaway promo that we're doing across all communities, so English, Korean, and Chinese. And so I think a lot of new members from those communities have been joining the server. So welcome to all of you. If some of them are with us right now on the Fireside or listening live or later, welcome to the community. So on that note, we've reached our next milestone for the Road to 10K promotion. So this promotion was started last year, and we're basically awarding prizes every time we have 1,000 new members joining the server up until 10,000 members. And so in order to qualify for these prizes, you need to generate your own custom invite link for the EOS community server and just share that link with your friends on social media, get people to join the community, and then you'll earn some points on the leaderboard and very likely be able to earn fun prizes, as always, EOS, NFTs, surprises, all that good stuff. And so, yeah, so definitely fairly easy to jump on the leaderboard and earn some prizes. Only a couple invites, was good enough in the first 2 rounds to jump on that leaderboard. So really get in there, earn some prizes. And for those of you who get a lot of people in, well, there's up to 50 EOS up for grabs for that first place prize. And then I've shared the link to the blog post for those of you who want to learn more. And so for those of you who had invites for in the last little bit, you can check your EOS account for some prizes in the coming days. All right, next up, I wanted to talk about the latest edition of the Swiss Antelope workshop. These have been hosted by Patrick from Nova Crypto for many years now. It used to be the EOSIO workshop, had a rebrand recently along with the rest of the EOS community, but it doesn't seem like Patrick's with us today, so we're just going to keep that topic for another day. I think I'm sure Patrick will be more than happy to share with everyone some of the highlights of this workshop and some of the interviews and the interesting EOS people that he's able to interview during these workshops. Pat Nova Joy, that's right. Here we go. Let's
yeah, baby, yeah.
in honor of Pat Nova Joy. All right. Quick reminder also, if you're out here in Discord, claim your POP token, join the raffle, end of the month raffle, fun prizes to be won. Also, quick Pomelo update. Well, actually, it's not much of an update. It's more of a teaser. We'll be hearing more about Pomelo related activities very soon. But if you go check out the Pomelo Twitter today, there was a mysterious post that went up I'm not too sure what that's about. Actually, I'm going to be not as involved in the Pomelo team for this season. Martin on our team is going to be more involved, so we'll be hearing more from Martin on the coming shows. And I'm looking forward to learning, seeing what's up in the coming weeks for Pomelo. Let me, of course, find that tweet for you guys. There it is. Daniel Keys coming in clutch today. Fast click in from Daniel Keys this week and last week, actually. Able to mint the first raffle ticket of the month. All right, if we want to go 2 hours, I'm going to need some help from you guys. We're going to need some more questions, some more comments. I'm running out of topics quicker than anticipated.
I got a quick update on the Effect DAO.
There we go. DjStrikaNova coming in clutch once again.
Our proposal, just endorsing the ENF and Pomelo, and as everything Bishop has talked about with EOS support, I think what they're doing is absolutely great. I think we had 30 votes, and the voting's done. So unanimous endorsement of ENF and Pomelo. Definitely going to advocate everyone in the DAO and team members participate in the next season. I think a few people in our DAO are interested in building submitting a grant to. David here, DavidB, he's actually both in the DAO and on the team side. Join us as well here on the Fireside Chat if you want to say anything. Just say hi or something.
Hi, everybody. Yeah, nice to meet you. Good to be here and be part of the EOS community to reconnect with all of you.
Hey, David. Great of you to join in. We hope to hear from you more in the future.
Absolutely. We've been building for the past year, and we're very excited to share with all of you.
All right. So let me check out that link you shared. So real quickly here, for the people who may not have heard you in the last few weeks, what is this proposal all about, and what does this unanimous vote mean?
So with Effect DAO, to keep things simple, for the most part, you can draft a sentiment proposal, which is like, I endorse this thing, and people can vote yes, I agree, or no. And so, like in the bottom, I said vote yes if you endorse Effect DAO outreaching to the broader EOS community, including ENF and Pomelo. And aside from that, in this proposal, I kind of do the shout out to the EOS Power Up and EOS Support, and then other grants I found interesting. And so yeah, we have a long list of proposals. If you go back to the proposals page and click close, you can scroll down to the long history of proposals we've made since the start of the DAO about 2 years ago. And does that explain things better?
Yes, totally, for sure. That's great. And people are who can vote in these proposals? Anyone
Right.
holding EFX tokens?
Right. So we have that's half of it, because we also have a governance token called NFX, and so on DeFi Box there's a liquidity pool for EFX and NFX, and there's a process of something called stake age where you got to hold your EFX, but yeah, once you have a combination of EFX and NFX, your vote weight kind of grows over time until it hits how much NFX you have. So yeah, you basically need 2 tokens and then you can vote. Just to vote, just to join the DAO, you only need 500 EFX, and then only 1 NFX to just vote. But the vote weight is proportional to how much of the tokens you have.
Okay, very cool. Very cool. So we can see that the active EFX community fully supports the outreach to our communities, which is great to see, for sure. There you go. And
Yeah,
then
really.
you also have a collection on Pomelo, which is great. Taking
Yeah, I've
advantage
started
of that
to.
new feature.
Yeah. I'm thinking of the like since I'm one of the highest vote weight DAO members on the Effect DAO, and so yeah, I'm gonna endorse like as the season goes on. I think I'll probably like endorse my favorite grants here on our DAO and like try to encourage people to support it because we get vote rewards every cycle. I'm definitely gonna convert my EFX to some EOS, support my favorite grants.
Beautiful, and you even have that mint pomelo heart-shaped diamond as your profile picture. Fully nice flex there on being fully part of the Pomelo community. All right, I'm just gonna give a shout out to all of the grants here that are in your collection. There's 10 of them. We've got EOS Support, EOS Eyes, EOS Power Up, EOS Authority, the recaps, EOS Turkey YouTube channel, the hot sauce, the Vault, DeFi Box Vault, video tutorials for EOS Support, and Recover Plus. Shout out to all those grants, and yeah, thanks for being an active part of the community. It's been great. It's been great having you on these firesides.
It's great attending too. It's always useful, cool information on these chats.
Perfect. And I encourage anyone in the chat, if you guys have questions about EFX, what they're all about, how you can get involved, what their value proposition is, feel free, jump in, ask away. Oh, Daniel Keys dropping some interesting Pomelo facts. 15% of Season 4 donations came via collections. Very cool. Will that grow in Season 5? Of course. Of course. How much can I bet on that? Yevon asking for a link to the EFX NFX liquidity pool. There you go.
Yeah, you have to search for NFX. So you select EFX, and then for the other token, you search for NFX. Yeah, well, so for EFX, the token, yeah, we have I think there's like 100 million EFX on. If you look at the hot wallet and cold wallet for KuCoin, and then we have the bridge for Binance Smart Chain, which is with workers like, and then that's for EFX, and for DeFi Box is the only place to get the NFX. And we also got our Discord too. I don't know if it's okay to post it, but if people have more questions, we can talk to them there as well. Don't want to spend the whole show talking about Effect Network. I could if I wanted to.
Yo, we still have an hour and 10 minutes to go, and I'm running out of topics. So there's nothing stopping you from talking about EFX. And then people don't want to learn more about EFX. They don't have to listen to the show, really. So really, there's no harm. Yeah, here, let me. Yeah, exactly. So if people have questions, happy for them to ask them, and then happy for you to answer. Don't be shy.
Yeah, I guess the other main goal is because we have a good so like with Effect.js, which is like basically a npm module, you can have you can create a campaign as a requester for the workforce to do these tasks, and our basically our primary goal right now is finding developers to build, cool dApps that can activate this workforce, and that's why we definitely want to engage with the Pomelo community, because I think my personal idea is a lot of the people who apply for grants, they could have developer experience and maybe be interested in building a dApp and submitting a proposal on our DAO for a grant to build it out. And so I think there's a lot of synergy that can happen between the Effect DAO and the broader EOS community and Pomelo.
Indeed, as DJ is mentioning, we're building a microtasking platform, and we think we can bring a lot of users to EOS, where there's a microtasking platform built by workers, for workers, and managed by workers via the DAO. And we think we have a pretty interesting use case here that really benefits from a decentralized blockchain such as EOS.
Right, Fiverr, yeah, it's like Fiverr is like it's based on the idea of $5, right? So with microtasking, you can kind of go scale it down even more. With Effect, like a good focus for the microtasking is building data sets. That's why we're kind of really trying to appeal to the AI audience, because you can build a giant data set of, say, image, like with image recognition, you can have a worker look at a task. I mean, look at an image, say what it is, and then now build up a data set of all these labeled images. Yeah, exactly, Mechanical Turk. That's what we want to, what Effect aspired to build out, and it works now on EOS.
Indeed, yeah, it's more like a Mechanical Turk than it's a Fiverr.
What's a Mechanical Turk for those who may not know, like me?
So Amazon has basically this platform where you have very small tasks that you get paid cents. So you could have an image that you need to analyze and say what it is. You could have maybe translate something that you're requested to translate a sentence into another language, stuff like that. And basically, it's the way the work is structured is you have thousands and thousands of these individual tasks, and you distribute it to thousands of workers who do it, and then it gets done really, really quickly.
One of the issues with Amazon Mechanical Turk is that because oftentimes these companies that hire in then these taskers, they have way too much power, and oftentimes the workers get kind of screwed over. They either get paid very little, or oftentimes they find themselves in conflict issues with the companies that hire Amazon in order to distribute these microtasks. So we think it's a very unfair environment, and that we're trying to build it in a more fair and sustainable way for all of the parties involved. But also the original story about the Mechanical Turk is that once upon a time there was this Turkish royalty, and he wanted this automatic chessboard game, and somebody invented one, but just put somebody underneath the chessboard to move the chess pieces. And ever since then, we've been using that as for processes that look automated but are actually managed by humans in the background.
Very cool. Very cool. Thanks for that little tidbit of information.
Hey, you guys, I have a question. This is Jack Bites. Let's say if I have a task that that I can post, how do you guys verify the integrity, the authenticity of the answers or the findings?
So right now we have a qualification system where workers need to earn their qualifications, and in that sense they kind of prove that their ability to be able to do a certain kind of work. And afterwards, with the whole validation system, we're still working on that and smoothing that out and making sure that we can actually punish workers or make sure that their behavior aligns into providing good work. It's a pretty hard problem that we've solved in the past by using AI, but since we've decentralized the platform, we need to build that up back again.
Yeah, that's what I remember, that you were using AI, and I was pretty impressed of what I read before, but I already forgot the details. So so you drop the AI response on this, and you're kind of just working on based on reputation. Is that what it is?
Yes. Indeed, like so in the past, the original founders, they envisioned the platform to be a marketplace for AI algorithms, but we've kind of dropped that. And the AI part that I'm talking about is just an intern once came into our company and developed an AI algorithm in order to kind of sort out what the quality of the work of a worker was. And but we haven't implemented that back into our new system.
I see, I see. So these workers, and you have them all around the world, correct?
Yeah, all you need is a MetaMask account or in EOS Anchor wallet. Yeah, a good reason. Like I'm hyped for the EVM. Of course, this is like probably asking more work for the team, but yeah, like one way to attract workers is just they don't have to set up, the complicated process of an Anchor wallet. But yeah, anyone can become a worker and then do a qualification. So tasks, I set up in our Discord a little notification service that like it sends a message out if there's tasks online, because usually they go by pretty fast and get completed.
And do you have any minimums and maximums, or the difficulty of the task, or how can we have a reference of what is it that we can assign and what is it that we cannot assign? Is there a list of these thresholds, or you know what I mean? It's a threshold on the size of the task, and also a threshold on the complexity of the task, maybe even a threshold on how many cities or locations can we expand these tasks. Like, for example, if I choose a country and then I choose a region and then a sub-region, can I duplicate these tasks into other regions within that country with the same request?
Unfortunately, we don't have metrics yet for geographical like locations. But in regards to complexity and how big a task can be, basically you can write out your own template for the task to be like for what the task is, and it will be an unmoderated type template, and then you can submit it to the Discord and talk about it, and then it can become an approved one. So it's like directly like you can still access an unmoderated one, but for the complexity, it can be as complex as you want, and you can give like people like a fraction of VFX, but that doesn't necessarily mean anyone's going to do it. Like you can have if you make it too complicated, the workers will make their own judgment and say, I don't really want to do this. So you kind of have to balance it out.
Thank you.
Indeed, we do try to hold a guideline of $2 per hour, and trying to keep the tasks under 1 minute per task. But there are no hard limits on that yet, and it's just guidelines for now.
Interesting.
Little off-topic note: we've had 7 new members join the server since just like 2 hours ago when I last checked. Not even. So that's cool.
Woohoo!
So I posted the link there. So if you want to sign up and do a qualifier, or if you're lucky and there's tasks there, you can complete them and get some EFX.
Well, I can break the silence here. This is Jesse with the Bees. I just want to share in the chat something that was shared by Trimbot that I thought was really interesting. That the IMF released a paper that briefly discusses EOS. And they just say, like, real quick, that EOS has 21 validators. But I think it's really cool that the IMF referenced EOS. I don't know if you guys knew that. I think it just came out today, or Trimbot found it today. So that's pretty cool.
Yes, that is pretty cool. And I was muted. I was talking to myself once more. I do it once a show. Keep it consistent. Yeah, I'm not sure if that was today. I'm not sure if it was published today. I think I've heard about this before. But yeah, there you go, sharing the tweet here about Trimbot. Yes, Trimbot, bat signal. Trimbot is back. Looks like he took a month off. Definitely great to have Trimbot back in action, out there on social media, posting the memes, spreading the story of the new EOS as wide as he can. Doing great work out there. Round of applause for Trimbot coming back to the social media environment. There you go, Recep here saying that the report referenced by Trimbot today was published in June of 2022 and it did not get the attention it deserved. Yeah, definitely nice to see EOS being mentioned in there. So while I was muted, I was sharing, the last topic of the day that I have here on my list, which is another tip of the hat for WordProof. And the ENF highlighted a recent interview that Sebastian from WordProof had with Adobe recently. And while I didn't listen to the entire interview, I did click through it a bit. And some of the highlights, if you will, is that Adobe is starting a content authenticity initiative, or maybe it's already started, but basically that's the topic of the interview. And Adobe is looking for ways to allow content creators to kind of timestamp their content without necessarily having to do so in the form of an NFT. And so Sebastian from WordProof is talking to the representative from Adobe about this type of stuff. What's the state of trust in the world today? What your vision idea on the current state of blockchain / Web3 for the adoption of trust tech? What is the role of policymakers? And what should be the role of big tech in restoring trust on the internet? And what will be the state of trust in 2030? Will it be worse or better than right now? So some of the topics that were discussed on this interview. Actually, let's see what you guys think in the chat here. What will the state of trust be in 2030? Will it be worse or better? If you think it's going to be better, leave a 1. If you think it's going to be worse, leave a 0 in the chat. And you can interpret what that means whatever way you want. Here we go. Jack Bites coming in with a 1. Optimistic. Not optimistic answer. I want to say 1 as well, actually. There we go. Rhett coming in with the 1 due to EOS. 0.5. Drew trying to be optimistic, but also realistic, maybe. But yeah, hopefully, WordProof is talking with Adobe on a deeper level than just this podcast, which I imagine is likely to be the case. And how great would it be if WordProof using the EOS blockchain is the solution that Adobe integrates to timestamp basically all of the creative content that is done through the Adobe suite. So this is pure speculation on my part. I have no idea if this is true or not. I definitely hope it's true. And actually reached out to Sebastian from WordProof, asked him to come on the Fireside. I haven't gotten a hold of him yet, but hopefully I do. And yeah, hopefully Sebastian can come on here and share some of the updates from his company directly with us. That'd be great. Oh, we got Patrick, Nova Crypto in the house. Welcome to the chat, Patrick. We missed you earlier.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
I actually brought up the latest edition of the Swiss Antelope workshop, but I didn't talk about it. I figured, you would join eventually to talk about it either this week or next week. So maybe if you want to jump on stage here and share a bit about the latest release for the Swiss Antelope workshop.
Yeah, hello Stefan. How are
Hey,
you?
you're kind of low, Patrick.
Do you hear me?
Yes, but it's low.
Ah, okay. Better?
No.
Not better. Okay. And now better?
No, it's still low, but I can hear you. So you can go ahead.
Ah, okay. So I hope you are doing well. I was just joining now. So yeah, we have the Antelope Swiss Workshop number 18. That's the first of the season 4. Already season 4. And that's every 2 months. So to finish on December 9 with six workshop again for this year. And on this one, I had the chance to interview Red out der Pool of Zeissen Global. So we have addressed the last quarter 2022 about the trade shows in Europe and Singapore, the result of the Antelope booths. That was the first part of the interview. And the second part of the interview was about the GDPR, how it is so important to be GDPR compliant when you are working with users that are in Europe and with data collectors. What does it mean? Because RED, it has the base of the Europe chain and EOS block producer Amsterdam. So he has a lot of experience with the GDPR. So we have made the second part of the video about that, mentioning also WordProof, Sebastian van der Lans, and the timestamping, and how the blockchain Antelope Web3 solution can help to be GDPR compliant. That's very good to be on the chain when you are to be GDPR compliant. So that was with RED. I had also an update with Jesse Jaffe of the Bees, so EOS Bees, about the Twitter situation. Since then, Elon Musk has bought Twitter, how it benefits the bees, and how it benefits also the EOS community to be with this new Twitter going more in the direction to ban the bots and accept more and more real humans. So we covered that. Covered also the cockpit. We showcase a cockpit that I am doing for the bees about the swarms to see the metrics, the result of the swarms. That will be very well used on Pomelo season 5 to analyze the return of the grants, of the owner grants and the swarms. Then I had a video interview with Daniel Keys of EOS Nation and on the lead of Pomelo. So we have covered the closing of Pomelo season 4, EOS Support doing the let's say the analysis report for Pomelo, and also some interesting topics about some let's say quid pro quo and things going on during Pomelo season 4 that were observed. We have also speak about the bounties, this feature where you have to submit something in GitHub, a GitHub issue for your bounty, how it goes with the bounty, the process, and the collection that Daniel Keys now is a delegate level 1 of Eden on EOS, want to create a collection into Pomelo about Eden on EOS to push his promise as a delegate level 1 with the rest of his group. And finally, we had an interview, Dancing Joy, Tadas Veitikunas, Vlad, and myself about the hidden fractal update number 4. So how is it going into hidden fractal? What are the current stage of the hidden fractal and how we continue to innovate there? So a nice workshop for the first of the season, and the next one is planned for March 23rd. That's on every 23rd, every 2 months. And I think there is a nice article on Bywire. I will put maybe a link where you find all the video and a resume about this Antelope Swiss workshop, basically stating
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby.
Sorry, Patrick. Misclick there, but I'm ready as soon as you're done talking for the sound effect.
I just want to say we are sit down on something beautiful. We have all the technology, we have all, and now we are humans, and we have to collaborate more between us, and we push on this season the EOS Digital Extended Network. By the way, that's make Eden, EOS Digital Extended Network, and that's what we push. And this workshop was exactly about this theme. So thank you, my guest, and without them, there was no possible interviews. So thank you to have trust and continue. Thank you.
Yeah, baby. Yeah.
All right, thanks, Patrick, for that nice recap. And yeah, please share the links in the chat here for your YouTube, for the article, for all the things.
I will do now.
All right, so that was it for my list of topics. At this point, we can open it up to the community if anyone has comments, questions, updates they want to share about their projects. Do it up. Also, actually, we've also started running a Google form for people who want to ask questions during the Fireside, but maybe they're not able to join us live on Discord. So you can fill out that form every week. We'll take a look before the Fireside Chat, and then if there's topics you want discussed or comments you want to share or a question you want to ask someone, you can kind of fill out that form, and we'll do our best to share as many as we can. So this week, actually, we had one question from Mark, and the question is, when is EOS set to deploy multi-threading? So I'm actually going to send that question over to Yves if he's around right now. When is EOS set to deploy multi-threading?
So I'm going to take a stab at guessing what this person is asking. And if that's not the question, then whoever wrote that can send another subsequent question. I'm guessing that they're talking about multi-threading in terms of functions that are capable of being processed from within the processor, but leveraging multiple cores. That's my guess. So EOS, predominantly is using a single thread, and so it's using one core to do the majority of the operations. Now there are some minimal operations that are, I believe, being pushed over to a few side cores, but very minimal. It doesn't really change very much. It doesn't really impact very much. So predominantly, when your infrastructure is really just using one core at a time. In general, I'm overgeneralizing, but that's generally the sense. And those functions that have been pushed away, let's say, to other cores, that's been for years at this point. So there's no on the roadmap anytime soon actually leveraging other cores outside of that main core 0 on a CPU. Having said that, though, there's kind of the second part of the answer here is part of the roadmap for EOS in terms of being able to, in a way, multi-thread or expand horizontally. Instead of doing so at the CPU level, it is at the chain level, essentially. And it's what we talked about earlier, referring to IBC. So it's this idea that if you needed to have more throughput or more capacity than one particular instance or one node can provide, this idea that, and it's still very new, still very infant in stages, but it is live now, this idea that you'd be able to push certain functions or certain of your requirements for your particular use case onto other iterations of Antelope. So maybe, and this is still very, very early, so we're still discussing this. It's still very much theoretical at this point, but this idea that, let's say you have an application and you've got way more users than currently the native chain can handle. I believe the latest numbers for Wax, and somebody can correct me on the numbers, but they've guesstimated, I think they can't go over theoretically 150 million accounts or something like that currently, and that's theoretical, but the actual, I think they have 20 million accounts and it's already pushing the limits. But this idea of IBC, and I guess in a way multi-threading to a certain degree, could be, and we don't have an answer on how to do this yet, but that perhaps an application that would have more than that amount of accounts or requirement of accounts or users could perhaps spin a single chain that would only handle accounts, and or multiple chains that would handle accounts, and then somehow linking that back up through IBC, and obviously reducing that latency through instant finality that'll come this fall, reducing that so that you can effectively like expand horizontally almost infinitely. And I'm just mentioning accounts, but it could be, that's referring more to RAM limitations, but it could be computational process limitations for what one core can currently do. It could be, for a variety of other use cases where you could deploy logic on one chain or on multiple chains while also still being tied to the mainnet. So if you think of this idea of one instance currently of the EOS mainnet being in a way kind of like a single core, then the iteration or the roadmap for expanding that to multi-core, the approach currently is through IBC by essentially spinning up new chains and having those new chains kind of act as other cores in a way. But if it was more so on the hardware front and really talking about CPU, then generally EOS is single thread in terms of one core, some functions on side cores. And if somebody more technical wants to go into even further detail, but I tried to give a high level overview of this without being too technical.
Well, Mark, I hope that answers your question. I think it's a pretty good answer. I wasn't too sure what Mark meant by his question, but I'm glad Yves had a better idea and took a great shot at it. And yeah, if Mark, you want, if that doesn't quite answer your question, submit another question and we'll get to it next week. So I shared the form here in the voice chat. We'll be sharing this form a bit more across social media. Foreigner wants me to pin it up in one of our channels in this server, which is a good idea. I'll definitely do that. And yeah, so you can feel free to use that form. But if you're with us live, definitely we prefer you guys to just come on air, jump on the mic and share your questions with us, or written in our voice chat. But if not, there's another option for everyone.
This is also a design decision, just to add to that, because I'm reading the chat. Typically, a single core, or in the case that EOS, most nodes that are run by BPs are essentially gaming rigs. Like, they're very highly efficient single core machines. Now, obviously, pretty much every CPU now has multi-core. But when you look at, let's say, enterprise grade hardware, so enterprise grade CPUs like the Xeons, for example, on the Intel side, they will typically have a lower clock speed overall and more cores, whereas a more desktop type of rig, so let's say like an i9 on the Intel side, will have a higher clock speed on those single cores and will even be able to boost higher type of thing. And EOS essentially went the route of being able to optimize for higher clock speed so that each block can be processed faster than, let's say, optimizing for multi-core, which then means the transactions and what you can put in a transaction is less and it's processed slower, but yet you could potentially parallelize. Anyways, you know what I'm trying to say. So it's just a different design approach. It could have gone either way, and we would have had ultimately a very similar experience, likely at the user level, but it's just a different approach. And typically, the enterprise-grade CPUs will catch up to the single core clock speeds that desktop CPUs has, but it's always a lag, it's always a delay. So you either go one route or the other. And for EOS, it was all about that throughput within a single core, because there was necessarily the need for multi-core, to the point where you need, let's say, 96 cores or 48 cores or something like that. And so it just went in one direction versus the other. Parallelize? Yes, exactly.
I have a question for Yves. Is that UK, Canadian, or British English? Parallel.
That's got to be the French-Canadian English. Yes. There are a few other words that are incredibly difficult for me to pronounce. That's one of them.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Yeah. Is excellent.
So with IBC, we have like the connection of the current chains. Do you envision more just like taking advantage of it and like from now on, like news like popping up and trying to connect as well?
I'm hoping so. I mean, up until last week, that wasn't even an option. And so I'm hoping that this function does get utilized and that we see more and more use cases come out of this. I know that at the coalition front, one of the things that we're currently working on is the RAM limitation, I guess, issues. And when I say issues, I say it very loosely. So in the current rigs that are being used, typically 128 gigs of RAM is the most that the motherboards can handle, and looking at different ways to be able to leverage RAM, but not necessarily get hit by those limitations on the hardware front. So we're looking at how potentially IBC could be leveraged for that. And that's just one example of maybe what IBC could do. But outside of this as well, looking at, for example, in your case with Effect AI, which bottlenecks potentially could be alleviated by potentially running multiple instances of Antelope in the backend, or another application, how they could leverage that new functionality to essentially provide a better user experience or lower cost or whatever it may be. Because this function is now available, I do certainly hope that people come with more creative ways of leveraging that. And then more importantly afterwards, that those use cases are being shared openly so that they form baseline architectural blueprints for what's possible now with this. So we saw that a few years ago, a significant shift in how people started deploying applications on blockchain in general, where even just 3 years ago, people were essentially trying to build everything on the blockchain. Every single aspect of their stack was trying to be ported over the blockchain. And we saw that that may not have been the most efficient thing, or even just kind of a complete waste with very little benefit. And over time, people started getting better, developers started getting better at what should be potentially run on the blockchain and what should not. And as that became more prevalent, people started putting out their blueprints. Here's what you could do, etc. And so the space evolved that way very quickly. And I'm hoping that we see that with IBC as well. So although this was only deployed a week ago, give or take, I would say that it will take time until we start to see kind of the ways that people are able to start leveraging this, and that will take time. And so I would imagine that we really won't see the true benefits of IBC anytime soon. I mean, I'd like to be proven wrong on that, and I'd like to be surprised. That'd be great. But realistically, I think we're only going to see the power of IBC come when there's really demand, which I would argue at this state there isn't enough demand, but also enough building blocks alongside that. So even today, if you want to leverage IBC, you need reference implementation, you need documentation, you need examples, there's a lot of building blocks that are still not there, still not present yet, a lot of the integration that's still not there yet, that needs to occur before you can even start to take advantage of this, and that takes time.
So going along with the blog announcement tomorrow and the activation on Saturday with Yves and Gnome, there's also a podcast that will be out with Areg, our director of engineering at the ENF, who's deeply involved with all of this, and Gnome, who's basically the lead engineer for the IBC. So if you really want to get into the weeds of like what's possible now, what these building blocks can do, and what some potential use cases are in the future, then I highly suggest you tune into the podcast.
It definitely sounds like it's something that's available for pretty much any EOS project if they reach a throughput problem, because it'll be like you'll be a victim of your own success, right? So you have to. So having all these building blocks available, I think, will definitely be great.
Yeah, part of what will change as well, I think, in the future, and it's not going to happen now, but instead of, because what you just mentioned kind of rang a bell and made me think of something, instead of implementing IBC or leveraging IBC once you reach a bottleneck, or when you believe you're going to reach a bottleneck, what'll be interesting is, because this will be a base now function, in the future at some point, building with IBC integrated part of your design from the onset, instead of being reactive, but being very proactive. So obviously during a transition phase, that's not possible. And we're seeing, like, for example, Wax is likely going to be a user of that. And we're likely going to be pushing a lot of the limits currently anyways with Wax. But in the future, ideally what happens is you never reach that bottleneck. You're already building from the get-go, knowing that this piece of technology will be able to leverage, so you never hit the bottlenecks that potentially can be prevented from the get-go. And that, again, it will take a very long time until we have enough building blocks, examples, templates, etc., so that people just know how to use this thing.
I think some of the first use cases you'll see are the most common ones that you see with non-trustless bridges. So I do think we'll see wrapped tokens making their way over to EOS, which I think we've been lacking them for a while. So I believe there was a wrapped Wax on EOS and there was a wrapped Telos on EOS, but those bridges shut down a long time ago. So I think seeing things like that is probably the most immediate use case that you'll see. So especially with Yield Plus incentivizing TVL on DeFi protocols on EOS, I could see liquidity from the other chains coming over to EOS in a wrapped token, basically matched against EOS in a liquidity pool, because that would qualify the EOS side of that pool for the Yield Plus liquidity program. I think that'll probably be the very first thing we see. But as we keep saying, like, it's a foundational technology and there's a lot of building blocks that are still needed. So to see the really advanced use cases, I think we're a little bit of a ways off still.
So we had another question coming in live during the Fireside Chat on the Google form here. But you guys actually just answered it, but I'll ask it anyway. So FGNE here asks, are there any partnerships and integrations being prepared in connection with the launch of EVM and IBC? And
Stephane, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, so I actually had a question which kind of aligns with the question that you're asking, which is from the perspective of the community in terms of marketing, because I have seen a decent chunk of comments on Twitter, and I do believe in listening to the feedback that we receive from the community. So in terms of marketing, what would the EOS community want to see from the ENF? I'm not promising that we will deliver on these wishes, but it would just be interesting to hear directly from like community members. When you say there's not enough marketing or EOS has never had marketing, like what do you want to see being done for you to feel like that there's marketing or that there's attention being driven towards
Great question. My answer is just do all the things, although I know that's not a realistic answer.
that is not an answer. Disqualified. Next.
But yeah, obviously, I think a lot of EOS community members have their own opinions on this stuff. Would love to hear from many of you that are with us here on Discord right now. Please jump on here on the mic or in the chat. Leave your message there. Or if you're listening on the replay, leave your comments in the Google form that we now have, and then we'll get to these comments and ideas maybe next week.
Thank you.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I would love to see, this is Perry, by the way. I would love to see more funds go to what I consider the choke points of onboarding new members, which are basically
New members to what? New members to what? Because there's a bunch of stuff.
New members to our governance program, new accounts, the blockchain. All those things have a common choke point, and it is the onboarding process relating to the wallet, the first exchange buy, the storing of keys. All of this has been a topic of discussion for literally years. And the idea that we're going to conferences and we're talking about marketing budgets and all of this money is going, we're talking about all this money going this direction when we're not focusing all of our energy or a huge amount of our energy on the choke points, which are clearly the choke points. They were identified literally years ago by Larimer and the early effort.
Okay. Quick question. Because wait, Perry. Yeah, I know you're not done your point, but I also didn't join when Larimer was here, so I would like some background context. Is why I'm asking this question. So, what are those choke points that you're describing? Because I'm literally trying to listen to you so that I can act on your feedback.
Well, the ease of use of creating new accounts and making your first exchange buy. I haven't used the new Unicove, so maybe he's made some serious improvements. But if in fact those improvements are made and it is smooth as silk, then why aren't we seeing that right here and now? Why isn't that blasted out with a Twitter? I want to be able to share. I personally have gotten a good number for one single person. I've gotten a good number of people onboarded. I've spent hours with people. In fact, one guy, I think I spent 30 hours over the course of 2.5 months fighting with Canadian banks, right? So it's anybody who's tried it, and also the fact that the person wasn't computer savvy and they had no idea what private keys were, nor did they have any idea how to store that kind of business. The point is that this is one of the biggest choke points, and marketing is just, to me at this point, until we've got that just solid, it just makes no sense. It makes no sense.
Sorry, wait. I'm trying to listen to you. So I hope my interruption doesn't come across as rude. What makes no sense?
Marketing something that is not clearly actionable.
Okay, so why do you think it's not clearly actionable?
Well,
because of onboarding friction is what I understand.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
So where are those keys stored? Can they be stored easily on a secure device? Is that data? Can that data be secured by biometric data? All of these things that Larimer and Block One were talking about and getting ready to announce before the great interruption, his departure from Block One, and then we heard absolutely nothing. It's been complete silence, and Aaron has been surrounded by ENF forces and basically buried, and it's a slow drift.
What does that even? Wait, sorry. What does that mean? Surrounded and buried by ENF forces. I am, by the way, to be clear, I'm not approaching this from I'm being defensive. I want to hear you. I want
And
to hear, like, I want you guys to tell me
are
what
being
you hate
compensated by an
about us.
exchange. You're
Yeah,
also being compensated by an exchange, so let's be fair. And
yeah.
you are pictured with ENF employees regularly. You are with their team. Let's not be silly.
Let's not be silly, but I also do have a mind of my own. So give me the benefit of the doubt, just the same way that I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt that you're not acting on behalf of a third party. So I would appreciate you giving me that benefit of doubt.
Can I interject just for a minute
Yeah,
and
for sure.
drive the conversation away from personal attacks?
Please,
Right.
thank you.
Hi, Winfred. Hi.
Awesome.
We all want you to succeed at your role, and we would love to see great marketing done for EOS. So let's
Yeah.
start by that, and let's see how we as a community can help support you on succeeding. All right. Now, I will give you the context that I come from. EOS was when we started getting involved, the ones that are here since Genesis, was literally the hottest thing out there, the new kid on the block, and we were really kind of riding a very strong trend on opinions by being the first kind of delegated proof of stake scalable blockchain, which I think is an idea that most of the leading protocols today took on. Now, having said that, the fact that, what happened with block one, kind of the I don't know how to call it, but let's call it a slow rug.
You got fucked. I'm gonna just say it like it is. You got fucked.
So people are not yet being able to distinguish between EOS and Block One, because when they think of EOS, they got like 4 billion and they've nothing with it, so they don't understand that it's Block One. So first of all, I don't think that people have yet understood that this is a different EOS without Block One. That's one. The other thing is that EOS, with all the changes and all the the new energy and restructuring and leadership that you guys have brought up with the ENF is still not part of the broader conversation. Okay, since quite a few months or more than half a year now since I started my podcast. By the way, I extend the invitation to any builder in EOS to come to the podcast. Only Jesse Jaffe has been in there, and it's growing. So guys, send me a PM and we'll get you fixed. So, in the broader space, outside the EOS eco bubble, EOS is not being mentioned as a leading protocol. I mean, it's clearly out there in tech terms, in terms of performance, but it's not out there in terms of the public discussion. Okay, none of the leading crypto YouTubers are either mentioning EOS on their portfolios or keeping up with the project. They're just simply crossed it off, and we have not been able to return to that same table where now, instead of the Solana and Avalanche and Phantom, which were kind of leading the narrative on the past bull run, now we're seeing Aptos and Sui and the new kind of Solana killers taking over, and EOS hasn't made its way back to that public conversation of leading blockchain. So if we can manage, I don't know, how to pull that off, but I'm just putting it out there. If you can put that as the main mission of EOS marketing, I think we'll see EOS do great in the next bull run.
Okay, so I do want to address a couple things. So distinguishing EOS from B1, one of the things I was talking about as far as marketing is concerned, as far as even working with the exchanges is concerned, B1, I'm going to be straightforward with every single one of you today. B1 did not have a relationship with a lot of these exchanges. So one of the things that the ENF is doing is establishing a relationship with the exchanges, not just from a marketing point of view, but also from a point of view of product. So that, when we're launching new products or there's new changes to the mechanisms and whatnot, the exchanges are involved and we communicate with them and we have that relationship with them. So that's something that did not exist in the past. And then you're saying that the new energy is not part of the conversation. I want to say that is debatable there's a decent number of media publications that have been talking about how the new EOS is coming into effect. Wired, which is a huge publication compared to a lot of the other ones that are covering a lot of stuff about EOS, that, you know, was talking about how B1 was essentially
I am
defunded.
giving you my take on what
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
seeing on YouTube, on Twitter, the public space that we're sharing, not
100%.
paper or publications that, you know,
Yeah. And I do not want to discredit that. I don't want you to feel like I'm not listening to you. I am listening to you. What I'm saying, as far as this point is concerned, is we are working towards getting that narrative to more people, to more publications, to bigger audiences. We're trying to rewrite the narrative of EOS because let's be real, EOS was once deemed the Ethereum killer. Today, like Yves has said it, and so I'm going to quote Yves because he is essentially my ultimate boss. He has said it. EOS has been a failure, and a lot of people consider EOS to be a failure. So we are trying to rewrite that narrative, and I'll be honest with you guys that it is not an easy. It's a tall order to rewrite that narrative, to communicate to exchanges and tell them, hey, look, the founding team fucked over the community, excuse my language, and now there's a new entity that is trying to restore the community. So we're trying to fix all these issues, and I absolutely understand the, you know, like the skepticism because you guys have been screwed over in the past. I expect you to expect that you will be screwed over again, but I want to assure you that that is not the intention of the ENF. I personally, like, I want to just speak for myself as Winfred right now. I'm not talking as a representative of the ENF. I know there's people on the ENF. I know Yves is on this call. I am not talking to represent Yves in this point in time. I joined the ENF because I care about credibility. I joined the ENF because I know that B1 screwed over the EOS community, and I wanted to be a part of that change. And a lot of the people who work at the ENF right now, some of them worked at B1, moved to the ENF for the same reasons that I joined the ENF, and want to be a part of that change. So I just want to say that right now, there's not a lot of things that might be visible on surface level, but there are a lot of things that are being planned that aim to eventually put EOS at the same level of some of the projects that you have been mentioned. And then the third point was that, you know, EOS is not being mentioned as a leading, like in discussions where there's like a lot of thought leadership. That is another thing that we have observed. Like, I just want to be real. And Yves is on this call, Zack is on this call, there's a lot of leadership on this call. We are fully aware of that, and we are trying to fix that. I cannot go into the details of how we're trying to fix that up until I'm at a point where we're comfortable communicating those kinds of details, but I just want you to know that your feelings are valid. Your feelings are 100% valid. And we 100% empathize with how a lot of the community feels as far as the sentiment towards EOS is concerned. We just want you guys to understand, though, that you guys have been screwed over, and it's not been by us. It's not been by the ENF. Like, just to keep it 100% with you guys, it's not been by the ENF.
I've never been to a psychologist or a psychiatrist, but I feel like I'm on the clouds right now.
Yeah, I would actually even skip the whole "we've been fucked over and we're the victims" narrative.
But we have,
and you know, yeah. So, you know, we're building a new narrative, so let's only focus on the future. What I am concentrating on is not what happened. It's what may lead you to, you know, develop a strategy for getting EOS in the map, right? We're not on the map right now.
So a strategy. So I just want to be clear. I wish Patty, I think Patty might not be on this call at this point. A strategy has already been developed. Unfortunately, in as much as we care about the community, it is also to our benefit that we keep some of this information internal. But I do want to assure you guys that a strategy has been developed. We recognize that there are gaps. We are working towards filling those gaps. Part of that has involved scaling the marketing team. Actually, the marketing team today is a way bigger size than it was a year ago. But in addition to that, we do have strategies in place. Unfortunately, with marketing, because I've been in this space for a long time. Sometimes people expect, okay, the team has grown, what are the results? You don't always see the results immediately. Sometimes it takes time. Like you said, we've been screwed over. It takes time for us to undo all that reputational damage that has been caused in EOS. We're working on that. We're working on that with exchanges. We're working on that with media. We're working on that in terms of just our internal campaigns. And it will take time. I want to keep your expectations realistic as far as the history of EOS is concerned. There's a lot to be undone that has been done, and that will take time.
I think
Pretty good speech there, Winfred. Maybe
my
maybe I'll
opinion-
hire you to do our fireside intros in the future. That was fire.
on
You
the
know what?
marketing side, I think it would be great to.
Mm-hmm.
I think just showing off what can be built on EOS, like maybe
Yeah.
like I think for me, the previous, as some people call it, bull run was built on hype, right? And
Yes.
but a contraction is when people realize what reality is. And the most important thing always, I think, is just utility, right?
Yes.
Is it actually useful to people? And I think that's like
Yes.
the best image to get across, because you're always going to have people hyping up a new blockchain that does XYZ, but then
Yes.
they have no dApps on it, like no one uses it, and people forget about it. So I
Sorry,
think
who's
just
talking? Who's talking
oh,
right now?
sorry, it's DjStrikaNova.
Okay, yeah. So I 100% agree with that. And it is something that we've recognized that, there is hype and it comes and it goes. And we do want to and have every intention to focus on the utility of EOS. It is part of our strategy that, like I said, we're not going to necessarily talk about today in this call, but we have every intention to highlight the use cases of EOS. How can EOS redefine certain sectors in the Web3 space? And who are the people right now who are redefining these sectors? And who are the people who can redefine it in future? Join us. That is all part of our strategy.
If you're concerned, Winfred, about what Block One had done,
Yeah.
then you probably would be concerned by them controlling the main Telegram EOS channel.
We're not concerned about that.
You're not concerned about that. Okay, so it's okay that they control, that an employee of Block One controls the main Telegram EOS channel. That's okay with you.
No, that is not what I'm saying. Please do not put words in my mouth. I will ask you.
I was saying that with satire.
Yeah. So my question is, who is the employee from Block One who's controlling this channel? Let's first get that out of the way.
I just posted.
I'm looking. Never put words in the mouth of Winfred. Wait, no. Wait, who? I don't see it.
My name is Perry.
Yeah?
I just posted on the chat, the voice
Oh,
chat.
the owner is Jonathan Mohan.
And then also look down, there's a guy named Josh Levin. This is based on my inquiry in the Eden Members Telegram channel.
Yeah.
Nobody challenged it, and this is what I was given. This is the information I was given. And
Okay,
I did
look.
research on. I did research into who these gentlemen are, and one of them is related to J.P. Morgan in that list there, and one of them is a Block One employee, and nobody seems to care. If this is not the case, then I would love to know who exactly is the owner controlling that. And if it is the case, then why are we putting it up with it? And why are you complaining about Block One and not concerned with this?
I would love to answer you if you give me the chance.
I also have something.
Can I?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah. I can answer that, and then you can ask, or you can ask, and then I can answer everything.
Yeah, I have a lot on the Telegram stuff.
But
Okay, let me answer this first question then. Okay, so you're asking, why do we tolerate this? Well, we have no option but to. Telegram won't let us just go and tell them, Telegram, shut this down. And even if they told us, even if that was a possibility, we wouldn't do that because that's a channel that was created by community members. And okay, some of them happen to belong to Block 1. The EOS Network Foundation has its own Telegram channel that we have every intention to grow. That is growing, by the way. And we have every intention to continue to grow. So, just because there's another channel and there's people on it who come from, I don't know, JP Morgan or B1, that's not something that phases us. We opened up our channel and we've told community members, if you're interested in learning more about the developments of the network, join the EOS Network Foundation's channel. Here we have rules, by the way. You're not just gonna shit on people and, cause a whole lot of FUD and get away with it. We have rules that you have to abide by. So that's what we have control over. The EOS channel that there's less, rules and regulations, we don't have control over that. What do you want us to do? We can't do anything as far as doing anything is concerned. Like, what do you want us to do?
Maybe start with awareness that this is the case.
We have.
Nobody has talked about, excuse me, Winfred, nobody has mentioned Josh Levin's name or this other gentleman. No one has been bringing this up. It's crucial.
Because we operate with a lot of inside Perry. So when you're looking at a lot of this from the perspective of a community member, you actually, I'm sorry, it's not to discredit anything that you're saying, but you don't realize a lot of the insight that we have as internals. When we approach this from a mention B1, mention the people who work at B1, they threaten these platforms to sue them. And then these platforms have to abide by whatever they, stipulate to them as far as legalities are concerned or threats. So we are fully aware that these things are happening. We are tactful in our decision to not approach it in the way that you're suggesting that we should. And to be quite sincere,
what have I suggested other than making people aware?
So, like I said, there have been times where we have tried in the past to make people aware by citing names or citing entities, and then that information gets wiped out. And so then it makes our efforts futile. So we've taken the approach to not necessarily be combative, to not necessarily be too direct, but to do the things that have an impact that cannot be redone. And I'm not going to go into too much detail as far as that's concerned because I just can't.
Well, you're an excellent marketing person, but I think we need a little more strategic
An army of Winfred joy.
Sorry, what?
We need an army of Winfred joy.
Okay.
By the way, I am Patrick of Nova Crypto. Shout out to Perry for the nice reminding of the scary things that are going on into the ecosystem. But more we are going on, and more we will be let's say, we will receive some attacks and some stuff into the channels. That's why we need Sibyl protection. That's why we have Jesse Jaffe working on for the Sibyl protection. Because if you have no Sibyl protection mechanism, you cannot connect the networks between them and add the humane on top. That's why 2023 and going on its EOS Digital extended networks. That's the birth of the DAOs. So forget about B1, forget about, sorry to say, I love Daniel Larimer, but be focused on what we have. Be focused on what we have on the plate.
Yes.
We have Antelope coalition with fantastic blockchains. We have red order pool coming back of 4 months on last year of the boots, lot of metrics, lot of CRM. So about the marketing, we should market what we have into our hands currently. We have
Thank
beautiful
you.
things. So that's what I want personally, I speak for me, continuing to push forward. It's about workshops, it's about videos, interviews of the OGs of this ecosystem. Interview also fantastic member that we have into Eden Fractal, that we have into Eden on EOS. By the way, I am happy to be a chief delegate on this term. I was never expecting to become one, but I take that very seriously.
He's
And
also
I
my
want
brother.
Oh, thank you very much. I want to indeed, there is a lot of scary things around the world and into our EOS ecosystems, or let's say Antelope networks. We have a lot of user story now that we can push on. We have a fantastic ENF team with Winfred, Zack, Brandon Lovejoy, Yves Larose, and fantastic EOS Nation, fantastic EOS Bees, fantastic dnews.zone, fantastic circle around EOS. So there is no competition. That should be the collaboration. Collaboration is key. We are intelligent people. We know that we are intelligent people into this EOS ecosystem, and it's not the time for the fight. It's the time for the sake of the unity to become one and speak one voice and pushing on Twitter. When someone is doing a fantastic tweet, the reflex should be someone retweet, not make only confiance, trust to EOSBs and the swarms, but we are the swarms. We are the bees to inject the best nectar into the mindset of the people. So no time for complaining because sometimes EOS, we are professional complainers. So that's not the time to complain. So shout out to you, Winfred.
Sorry, I think you froze. Can you hear him?
I think we lost Patrick, unfortunately.
Patrick, I think we lost you. But yeah, so all this to say, I want to be clear, by the way, I am big. So when I got into crypto, just to give you guys some context into who Winfred is before you make any assumptions of me, I didn't get into crypto because I was working for an employer.
Shout out, Winfred.
Sorry?
I say shout out Winfred and shout out everyone into this EOS ecosystem, or let's say into this Antelope networks that want to forward the message, the user story, and the positive vibes. Because we can be stuck on block one story, Daniel Larimer that is going now closer of God, and he will maybe come back later on. I have a lot of respect for Daniel Larimer. Without him, we will be never here today. But we have our destiny in our own hands. ENF and Yves Larose, what he has made when he was leaving EOS Nation to focus on ENF, that's very accountable. Thank you for that. That was the best decision that he has taken. He has the balls. He has balls of samurai. He has made what he has to do. And I have a lot of respect for that. So now you have people here that are just fantastic, and that's not the time to complain. That's the time to work hand in hand with Winfred, with ENF, with the coalition, and be very collaborative. That's all what I have to say. Thank you.
Yeah, and I just wanted to add, so one thing about me is I've always approached things from a community member point of view. When I got into crypto, a lot of these organizations do not even exist. To be honest, Ethereum was not even a thing. And then Ethereum became a thing. I joined communities in Ethereum, and then I joined communities outside of Ethereum, and there were other ones that were not Ethereum. So I tend to look at things.
And this tagline that we are the killers, killer of something or the killer of someone.
It's a very bad tagline. Indeed, we are the entry point to multi-chain harmonic universe. We are the entry point. We have IBC, we have Finality that will come. We have all those beautiful things that Yves was mentioning before at a high level with parallelize. That's exactly that. We have all the technology, but the problem is not the tech. The problem is the human.
Let's hear from Winfred for a bit, and then we're probably gonna wrap it up.
Yes, Stephane, you're right. Sorry, I am passionate. Sorry.
But thank you for your passion, Patrick.
I totally love the passion here. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say is every time I've joined a team, even when I'm in that team, I always look at things from the perspective of a community member. Because when I joined crypto, I didn't join crypto because someone said, hey, we'll pay you to join crypto. I joined crypto because I was interested in the technology. I was interested in the ideology. And that's why I got into crypto. And any organization that I worked in, it's because I care about that ideology. I care about the fundamentals of what the ideology can offer to society. And so I just want to be clear that, yes, I work for the ENF, whatever, but ultimately, I care about adding value to the EOS community. I have seen how the EOS community has been like the recipient of disservice from previous entities that were recipients of block rewards, for lack of a better way of expressing my thoughts right now. And I want to be a part of that change. I want to be a part of an EOS society where we nurture the community, we equip them with the resources, we equip them with the information and the insights that enable them to make EOS what it was supposed to be initially. And so, yeah, someone mentioned on the call, I think it was you, Perry, that you work for the ENF. So fucking what? I work for the ENF, but I'm a community member of EOS, and I joined EOS because I care about EOS. I didn't care about the ENF. That's not why I applied to work for the ENF. It was because I care about this community. And so I really want that to be clear, because sometimes I think you people just look at me and you think, okay, she works for the ENF. No, I genuinely care about this community, and so do a lot of the folks that work at the ENF. We genuinely, like Zack has been in EOS. He shilled B1 at some point, which he now thoroughly regrets. And so like we've all cared about EOS. We all care about EOS. We all care about you. And we all want you to feel heard. We all want you to belong. We all want you to participate in this ecosystem. We want to equip you with the resources that can help you to participate in the ecosystem. And so I just really wanted that to be clear, that like ENF is not your enemy. Just because I work at the ENF and I talk in these calls doesn't mean that I'm speaking for the ENF. I genuinely want to represent the community. And even when I have my talks with the ENF, a lot of the times I try to represent the perspective of an outsider, of like a community member who might have concerns. So Perry, I totally get where you're coming from, but we are literally in the same boat. We want the same things. We want the same results. And we're literally working towards the same things. And all I can ask from you at this point is just to give us the benefit of doubt, because I don't think we've done anything as the ENF to like necessarily get you to question our intentions. And if we have, I would want you to challenge me right now and tell me what we've done to make you question our intentions as the ENF. But if we haven't done anything, then just give us the benefit of the doubt to prove you're wrong, to reassure you, and to show you that ENF is genuinely a community-led foundation that cares about the EOS community.
That's beautiful! That's beautiful! I love you, Winfred! Fantastic! Well stated! Yeah!
Thank you, Winfred. I made a very
thank you, Winfred. Yeah. Oh my girl! That was beautiful.
Excuse me, Patrick. Pardon me, Patrick. I've made a very specific claim, and you sound like a lovely person, but this isn't about you, Winfred. I made a very specific claim about a Telegram channel, and so that's what we're talking about right now.
I can address that one. If this is just about Telegram.
Thank you,
Guys,
Zack.
everyone, stop, please. It's a very simple answer. We've known about this. This Discord server
Yeah.
we're on right now was literally created. It was the very first thing I did as the ENF. I was like, finally, we have someone that could maybe drive the community to a place that there's like ownership of the community. I am the owner of this Discord server. I started it literally like the week after launching the ENF, and the main EOS channel, it exists. It's like the town square. Like, yes, there's some Block 1 people that own it, and we know that, but the main moderator is Elvis the Cat. We've got a good relationship with him. Almost half this Fireside Chat right now is moderators, I feel like, in the channel, but it's not an ideal place to send new top of funnel end users, and because of the toxicity that happens there. Like, Yves not even in that channel anymore. And if you guys recall, when the ENF first launched and we launched this Discord, that's whenever I shut down the old Everything EOS Telegram channel, because prior to the ENF, that was one of the main places that the community, the English community at least, communicated. We literally shut down the old Everything EOS channel to almost force everyone's hand of let's get the community to Discord. Let's create a nice top of funnel, a nice happy place, because we want to drive new users into EOS. We're all a bunch of bitter old folk around here. If you're an OG in the system, like, the whole strategy from day one was to get away from the old EOS, and that very much is that Telegram group. And there's nothing wrong with it existing. Like, we're not going to shut it down. Block 1 or we can't
do anything about it.
We
We've tried.
shouldn't.
and it's fine to exist. I'm still in it. I talk to people in there all the time, but we had to turn on because it got so toxic again over the, I'd say, like, the last month. We reopened up the old Everything EOS chat. We basically made it the ENF channel. We branded it as the ENF rather than EOS because we didn't want to deal with the backlash of trying to force our way to shut something else down. That could be the EOS Telegram group. It's the town square. Call it what you want, but I'm not pointing people there. Like, we took the link to that Telegram group off of CoinMarketCap. It's off of CoinGecko. We took it off a long time ago.
Yeah.
So you'll see there's only
and doing that took a long time. It was very hard to do that.
To even get ownership of the Coin Market Cap page took me like 3 or 4 months of back and forth to explain how the previous owners of the page aren't going to send you a love letter saying that like they should hand over the keys to me.
And
it was a long process.
Yeah, and even Zack, to establish relationships with these exchanges where they feel they can trust us to update the content and know that we are the point of contact going forward, it took a lot of time, and it's going to take a lot of time for several of them that we have yet to reach out to. So it's all a work in progress. But it's not to say that we're not working on it. We are. We care about this stuff.
So Perry, did I answer your question about that Telegram group? It's okay to exist, but we're not going to like force it to shut down. Like, even when GlueDog tried forcing a new EOS group, like, we didn't like push that and back that. We just created our own group and called it the NF channel. It's not EOS, and that's where I personally would rather spend my time right now, and in this Discord than in the main EOS chat. But I'm not gonna like try to shut it down or force anything on it. It's a valuable channel for the OG community for sure. But I'm more focused on the new community that we can create. I mean, all the OGs, if you're still here, you're still here. But we carry a lot of baggage, and that baggage it comes out in that EOS project channel.
You have the power. You have the power to change that because you
we don't.
Hang on. Please
let me finish.
Allow me to finish. You have the power to change that. Because you are the NF, you can use your own EOS Foundation channel, or you can create a separate one, and you can begin driving people away, and you can take control of that, and then you can go to the next step if you truly believe in decentralized governance, and assign the custody of the control of that group to a decentralized community. And that's what I'm suggesting that happened for Eden Fractal. But it doesn't have to be Eden Fractal. It could be another group. That's what I'm suggesting. It appears to be in the best position at this particular point in time. The point is to decentralize the custody of our media assets, of our town squares, and that's where we should be taking steps. But the intermediate step, the easy step, the thing you could do today is simply say, okay, guys, we're going to go to a campaign. We're going to use our marketing power to drive people to a new channel, which at least we control.
Perry.
Okay.
Perry,
Hold up.
Winnie,
We're stop you
Winnie,
right
I have the context, please.
Yeah.
The EOS mainnet, or EOS project, it's called, channel on Telegram. I don't care who the owners are because they're not really active. It is a very decentralized channel, and that is why it is such a cesspool. Like, everyone is a moderator from all sides and opinions, and nobody's ever allowed to be permanently banned. They're always allowed back.
The admin chat for that group may be worse than the group
BS,
itself.
Zack. I'm sorry, but the campaign to destroy the reputation of Dan Larimer was launched in that and promoted by our illustrious leader Yves in videos, YouTube videos. So that is complete BS, my friend. I'm sorry to say that. That is not true.
I'm sorry to say that, but what are you even saying?
Yeah, I don't really know what you're disagreeing with.
Yeah.
Honestly. Like, Telegram, that channel's not, there's no new members coming to that channel. And I'm also not a Dan apologist. I'll be the first to admit that Dan is a genius and gave us a lot of great ideas, but I don't know why you're bringing him up right now.
I will
we
be honest.
moved on. Dan
It's
left.
not unbiased. You suggested that it was unbiased and there's just people from all sides, and it's just this unbiased, friendly space.
It's not friendly. It's because everyone's drama and dirty laundry comes out in there because there's not enough moderation.
If I can add my
Well, I was moderated
Wait,
out.
someone is trying to speak. Can we give someone else an opportunity?
Yeah,
Who's trying to talk?
I'm going to mute people.
I was
getting out of hand.
So
Yeah,
I think, sorry, Barry, I do not want to discard your opinion. I think I appreciate your passion, but I think that channel, all in all, is like, that Telegram channel. So it's really insignificant in the grand scheme of things. I just posted the accounts that really matter. I mean, that Telegram channel, what has like 10K members, speaking the troll box on EOS and speaking where is the price going to go on the next 5 minutes. Who cares? Like, there are 2.2 million subscribers of the Coin Bureau. 500,000 on Elliott Trades, 700,000 on Crypto Banter, and over 1 million subs on Bitboy Crypto. There are really, large influencers that are moving the needle and are now talking Aptos, Sui, gaming coins, and those top 20 market caps that are now leading the market. And if we don't, if that's the conversation I want to be part of, I don't care about a 10K Telegram troll box, the people speaking shit. That's irrelevant. Let's leave that channel to whatever and let it die. Let's get into their table.
Of all the things we can be talking about, this Telegram channel should not be high on this list.
Like, why should we waste all our focus and energy on a 5 to 10K people Telegram channel that's already lost and irrelevant, when we should focus all our efforts into getting EOS into those mentioning on those channels, right?
Because when you go onto Telegram and you type in the letter E, the letter O, the letter S, that's where you go. That's why.
But Telegram's not for newbies, Perry. The Perry's
Yes.
newbies
And there's nothing we can do about it. Okay,
they're watching YouTube.
Yeah, we're not talking. This is a stupid. Why are we talking about Telegram?
Let's give Zack a second.
What is it?
Zach has not spoken for quite a bit. Hey guys,
We're done talking about Telegram.
High-pitched tone to shut you up and let Zack speak, because he's not spoken a lot.
That's the best fireside chat I have never had.
I love not having to speak, so it's not that big
Oh,
of a
I am
deal.
drinking 3 liters of vodka.
Okay, I'm gonna shut everybody else up because Zack has been around for the longest. I can never try to even speak over Zack because I have so much respect for him, and he has something
Yeah,
to say right now.
I want just to say thank you, Zack, for have launched this Discord at the beginning of the ENF. Thank you.
Thanks, Patrick. I didn't really have much to add except I don't know why we're talking
sorry,
about Telegram.
Steph, you
Okay,
want
let's
to
close
mute
it
me.
off there. So
Someone brought it up. That's
Stephane
why.
want to mute me.
I need to
I
go
know,
eat
but,
dinner. I think we're just kind of turning around in circles at this point.
Bon
so
appetit.
thank you. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it
Yeah,
up
good
here.
job, guys. Good job.
Thank you for all the active and passionate conversation. I thought we were gonna end at around an hour and 10 minutes, but of course, we added another hour after that. Yeah, very lively chat. Thanks for everyone who participated, either in the text chat or live chat, or sharing us on social media, all that good stuff. So yeah, thanks for joining.
And let's finish with a go EOS.
Yeah, let's wrap it up with the Go EOS in 3,
Wait,
baby.
1,
Stephane.
Go EOS!
EOS! Yay!
EOS.
Oh, yeah. Oh my God.
Have a
Let's go,
wonderful day.
Winfred Joy.
Yeah, baby, yeah.
Yeah, baby. Yeah. I love EOS. Let's go.